Hello, hello. Welcome to the All In podcast with Nate Peo. I'm your host, of course, Nate Peo, and my guest today is Mindi Huebner. Mindi is a certified Neuro Linguistics Programming practitioner, a certified health, life, and success coach, a clinical hypnotherapist. She has been an entrepreneur for over 24 years. She knows that creating massive change in thoughts, beliefs, and habits is the key to creating an extraordinary business and life, and being the champion you deserve is what sets her heart on fire. She's an author, speaker, coach, maker, mentor, and difference maker. Welcome to the show, Mindi. How are you?
Thank you so much, Nate. I am well. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to have a chance to converse with you a little bit. We met previously and you had like a ton of energy and you were up to some really cool stuff, and I was just like, we have to have this conversation on the podcast. So super excited to start there. And one of the things I think your bio kind of like didn't touch on is that you had been an entrepreneur for 24 years, but you hadn't really specifically got into NLP hypnotherapy until 2 years ago and really focused in on becoming a life coach, success coach. So what was kind of this epiphany moment to you where you decided like, hey, this is something I want to add to my bag of tricks, and this is something I want to go all in on?
I had coached, mentored, taught, trained my whole adult life. I was in direct sales, led a large team. I was the national trainer for our company. And when I came upon NLP, and that career ended, that company closed, they closed my division. And so I had started a company with my very best friend, and we did mentoring and training in that as well. And when I stumbled upon NLP for the first time, I thought, oh my gosh, this is the key. This is the magic. This is the missing link. And I had never really, my only exposure to hypnosis was the whole, like you're getting sleepy kind of garbage. You know what I mean? Like it's not the dude with the watch and the, scary looking guy. Like it's not about that. And so when I found these tools that could make what I was already doing even better, could really get to the root of things, could really help people, change people, I thought, oh, if I knew then what I know now, kind of a thing. And that was it. Like I was all in. Like as soon as I had exposure to NLP, I was all in and getting certification.
And so like as you're learning to do this for yourself, I mean, was the always the intention of like, I need to learn this for myself, but that I also need to learn it to become a coach of it? Like, was it always knowing that that was the end game? And how did that shape, and how has that impacted the people you've worked with?
Absolutely. It was about bettering myself and using it for my clients immediately, like another tool in the tool bag to really get to the root, to shift, and to have that lasting transformation for them. And so when I started in coaching, like I said, I honestly have been coaching my whole adult life. Really, I've just been that person that people come to and, will you help me, and those types of things. People tell me way more than they tell other people. I just have that way about me. And so it was a natural progression to do it professionally, to step into that role as a business. And I started in health coaching because I know that like your health is everything, like when we don't have our health, it doesn't matter how much money we have, doesn't matter any of the other stuff, right? All the accolades and followers and all that other stuff. If we don't feel good, none of it matters. And so I started in health coaching, and I bring a holistic piece to my success coaching, to my business coaching, that does involve like, how much sleep are we getting? How much water? Like the important basics kind of thing. So I started there, and then started moving into, okay, well, I think that the women who really that I could really make a difference for are entrepreneurs. I was an entrepreneur for years and years, and I got the difference, the struggles that they had. And that was the switch then to move over there. And then, like I said, as soon as I came upon NLP and I can rewire my brain, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, let's talk about that. What is NLP? Like, why is that any different? Like, if I go to a coach, right? I'm going to go to a coach and say, like, I need help. I'm struggling with problems. I need some clarity. I need you to reach in and pull this out of me. And, everybody's got a little bit different way of doing things. But why is NLP so powerful? And, you talked a little bit about it being the watch and the old
Sure.
Bug Bunny hypnotherapist.
That's funny.
It's not quite that. So how does that show up differently, and what makes NLP so much better than or your preferred method of coaching
Sure.
people?
Well, I definitely use a mix. I mix that in. One of my clients calls it NLP voodoo. Like, you changed my life with your NLP voodoo. It is the study of excellence and modeling. And so it really just sort of, for me, gets you to step back and say, okay, where do I want to go? Where do I not want to go? What do I have inside me already? What are my internal resources? And you don't even know their internal resources until you start working with an NLP coach. I mean, there may be other coaches that call them that, but I have that is really where I see like internal resources, internal representations. You learn that the brain distorts, deletes, and generalizes. And so because of that, because you know that, then you get to model and or create success plans based on that. So if I believe, and here's a really great example, and I just jumped around a little bit, I'm sorry. There's a really great example. First of all, NLP also talks about identity, like what is our identity, and deeper than your identity as a podcast host. Although, because you identify as a podcast host, is that a fair assumption that you would identify as a podcast host?
Yeah, how it is. I don't always identify as a podcast host or a podcaster. A lot of times I like to identify with it as being a tool to make additional connections, additional introductions to people. It's also a way to share.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for. If you want to
That's
be just
okay.
like, yes, that's what it
Yeah,
is. But
no,
I don't
no.
really
Okay, great.
identify completely as like, that's what I go as a
Okay,
therapist.
so I'll do a really simple one for people. You're a smoker or you're a non-smoker. Okay. If you're a non-smoker, when you wake up in the morning, you don't think, I wonder if I'll smoke today. It's not in your identity. So even though you said, I don't necessarily identify as a podcast host, you didn't wake up today, I'm guessing, and say, yeah, I wonder if I'll blow Mindy off today and not be on my show. Did you think that?
Honestly, no. You know what's
Because
funny
you're
though?
in your
There's a lot of times like right before like a call or show, I'm like, oh, it wouldn't be that bad if they didn't show up. Like, but then like once it's on and rolling, it's like you're in the mix of it and having conversations and it's all good. But sometimes there's a little bit of a moment where you're not quite sure.
the energy starts moving.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, no, the energy starts moving. The energy starts moving. Well, we really like our beliefs really shift identity. Using NLP, we can look at those things and leads to sorts and generalizes. If I say I'm a procrastinator, let's say my identity is I procrastinate, am a procrastinator, and what we say after I am is huge. That is our identity, right? And so if I say I'm a procrastinator, well, I think that thought I do actions that create procrastination all the time for myself. My habits support that. My brain distorts and generalizes anything that comes through that would tell me otherwise because I'm not looking for something else. I'm looking for proof that I'm a the time. I believe it. I model procrastination. So if I decide that that's not working for me anymore, that I want that to be, I get to start recognizing, get to start using new thoughts and new that don't just mean like pie in the sky. Affirmations are our way of practicing intentional thinking in the direction that we want to go. So when we say an affirmation, it is our way of practicing this intentional thought. So for me, procrastination is a thing of the past, right? I get things done, like whatever, I know how to prioritize. I'm becoming the person who prioritizes, right? Like depending on where we are in that journey. And so we can say new affirmations, and then we get to recognize. I talk to my clients about, and I hear coaches talk about this all the time, maybe a fabulous file or a success dossier. It could be even a mental thing where you remind yourself that you showed up for yourself, that you didn't procrastinate, and you do that little check, like, here's the proof, brain, that we are no longer procrastinating all the time. Here's the proof. And so we start to let that come in through our RAS, through our filter, and the brain then shifts into recognizing, oh, we're doing things that don't agree with being a procrastinator. We're changing our identity. We're changing the way that we act, what we're doing, how we're being in that. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about it.
You're talking about the smoker, non-smoker. And when I was growing up, I smoked cigarettes, but I never identified as a smoker. I always identified as somebody who smoked. And then one day, like, I quit, and it was like I would struggle to quit, and then one day I quit, and I was like, why did I quit so easy? And I was like, I flipped the switch, and I was just like, well, I'm not a smoker, like, so I don't need to smoke. And that's happened, but that's probably like one of the few times in my life where I've been powerful enough to just flip the switch, and I never doubted going back to that other belief. Because I've had these other things where people say, like, choose to be this other version of yourself, and you're like, I choose to not let this other thing bother me anymore, except for it kind of bothers me right now, and then like it like creeps back in. So, and you're talking about the, like, as a coach, you're working with somebody and training their mind to do this stuff. How does that work? Like, clearly you're not going to be with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, reminding me in my mind. So how do you start giving some tips for people? Like, okay, we've had our session, you're feeling good, you leave, and it all goes out the window. Like, how do you stop that from happening?
Yeah. Well, that's important in the beginning when we first start working. Yeah, see, Cindy says setting your goals as if they have already happened. It's important when we first start working together that we future pace the outcome. And I like outcomes. Goals are directions. They're an aim. They're a purpose. An outcome is what actually happens, right? An outcome is where the rubber meets the road. Outcome is the result of the action that we take. And so one of the things in my coaching, I love it when my clients are like, just tell me what to do. Nope. Because you know what to do. It's already inside you. You know what to do. And if I tell you actions to take, you may take them. You are not switching over to become the guy who takes the actions because this is the new identity that he wants, right? You're doing it to satisfy the coach or, those kinds of things. So first is getting real clear on who do you want to be, Nate? What and why? Okay, and why? And why? And why? Like 7 whys deep about this transformation that you want. So we really get to the root of the transformation. And how will you know when you get there? What will it look like? What will it taste like? What will it sound like? What will it smell like? And what internal resources do you already have? We really walk through that. And what do we need to get out of the way? What's going to stop you from showing up as this guy? Like, what is going to stop you? Just tell me right now. And I'm going to stop me, or this is going to stop me, or that's going to stop me. Okay. A lot of the work that I do is belief busting, because we have these beliefs. We just walk around with them all over us, and they're not even ours. They're one of my favorite hated stories is a friend who was spoken over from the time she was small, that she was shy. Like, oh, she's shy. She wasn't shy. She was just quiet, but she wasn't
Mhm.
shy. She's a bold personality. And that was spoken over her and spoken over her and spoken over her. And people do that unwittingly, right? One of the things that we believe in NLP is we're all doing the best we can with the tools that we have. And so people do that. And then we grow up with this belief, oh, I'm shy. Okay, well, where did this come from? Do I really believe this? What is this belief protecting me from? And this is huge when we really start like uprooting these beliefs so that it doesn't all go to the wayside when you leave a coaching session, right? Because
Mhm.
you've unrooted the fact that this belief of being shy is protecting you from going all in. And what would happen if you went all in? And what would happen then? And what would happen then? And so you just start to open the possibilities for the client of where they want to go and the cost of staying. What is the cost of staying? Because there's lots of times when we stay, like you said, yeah, but now it's bothering me. Like there's a secondary gain in there. What's what we call a secondary gain. There's a secondary gain in in the believing that this is bothering you, even though you've said you're not going to, it's not going to bother you anymore. Like there is some gain deep down in the primal brain somewhere that you're getting from this. And then we just uproot that. And that's how we work on it. And that's how we keep that transformation going.
Mhm. That's interesting you talked about, like, we play out scenarios with and we make decisions based on the best available tools that we have, right? And I was struggling with something the other day, and my friend, she coaches NLP as well, and she's like, "Well, think about it this way, like, you're like, I kept playing out this scenario of like it went bad, like maybe I could have done something different, like what could I do to fix it? And it was kind of like not fixable. Like there wasn't anything that could go back and do it. Like that's it play out. Just think about it this way. Imagine if you and me were going to go to the horse races, and I showed up late, and you got there early, and you put a bet on the horse that you thought was going to win the horse race. And I showed up late after the race is over, and the winner horse is in the winner's circle. And I come up to you and I said, "Hey, did you bet on that horse?" And you said, no, I didn't. Well, why not? Because that's the one that won. It's like, well, at the time, I didn't know that. At the time, I thought this other horse was going to win, and based on the best available knowledge I had at the time, that's the way I put it on, and this is the one that won, and it wasn't able. Like that's what it is. Like you did what you thought was right. It couldn't have gone any other way than the way you did it. That was the only way it could go. And now that it's done, it's played out, you can't go back and second guess it, because when you think of it as absurdly as like, hey, I'm going to go back and bet on the horse that won, like, well, you can't. Like, time doesn't work that way. And
Yeah,
so
that's
it's, you
beautiful.
know
I mean,
what?
that
You're
is
right. I can't go back and fix this thing. And it kind of changed it. And I guess maybe I've been a closet NLP enthusiast, just based on some of these scenarios that have worked for me, but I've never like actually like sought it out and put it into good practice. But it seems like these you're able to very quickly, very fast, just change your belief, like the rewiring of it. And it's like, okay, I believe this to be true. Now I don't. And it's like, boom, you know?
Well, yes. So some of those things are a reframe. What we're talking about too is a reframe. I had a client who had a lot of money going out, and it was very stressful, and it was going into her children's mouths. They all had braces, right? And so she like, this is a bill, and this is it's so stressful. And I said, well, what are you gaining from this? Like, tell me all the benefits of shelling out this money every month. And so as we talked through all the reasons why her kids got to have braces, like it was a choice she made, you know what I mean? And she was able to make the choice, and all of these, she then could reframe that from this bill that was stressful to this investment literally in her children's lives, right? And
Mhm.
so there's a lot of reframing, and I have gotten so good at reframing that I, sometimes it irritates people that I just can reframe like without even thinking about it. And it's because it's the way I've wired my brain to do it. There's no point in like dwelling on this, right? It's like, let's just reframe it. What can come out of it? And that's the other thing with the situation that you were talking about, like, there was nothing you could do about it. I like the question, like, and we do this in NLP, the principles of success are, okay, so you take the action and now you look at the data. What was the data? Okay, well, I really screwed that up. How do I get to show up differently next time? Who do I get to be the next time in the future from now on? Not I should have blah blah blah, right? Because should
Mhm.
is shame, and like there's no good energy in you should have, right? But from now on in the future, next time I'm going to, and I'm going to show up this way, because I already got the results when I showed up this way, and they weren't my favorite. So now I'm going to tweak that, and I'm going to show up different. Again, experiential learning, which is just, worldwide, not necessarily NLP, but experiential learning is how we learn, like doing the thing, right? Then we know from the outcome of that too.
Awesome. So, you talked a lot about being able to reframe things pretty quickly for people. And my experience has been a lot of times, hey, I can see what other people need help with and I can pinpoint that. I might give them the right advice. But when I look at myself, I struggle with that. Are you able to, reframe these own circumstances in your life and make like the same way you would coach somebody else, where it's crystal clear, the advice is not wishy-washy. It's very like direct to the point. This is what you need to do. And the people are, yeah, I need to do it. Or like, how do you apply that same thought to yourself?
Mostly, yes. And that's what I was talking about, people getting irritated with me, because mostly I can easily do it in my own life. I can reframe. I have always been a silver lining seeker. So I probably, it's probably the odds are stacked in my favor that I can do it. I've always been that way. Like, okay, that sucked, but what's good, right? Like, what's good? Because there's nothing comes from dwelling in things that we cannot change, right? And so yes, mostly I'm extremely good at it, and I have a coach. I have a mindset coach. So even coaches deserve coaches, and I need coaches to get that clarity and to really. And the funny thing is, she coaches very similarly to the way I coach. So again, no telling me what to do, but why do you think that? And I was like, oh, this is why I
Nothing
think that.
worse.
That belief is, I believe this is protecting me, and it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's always hard when somebody's like, hey, I'm going to reach in and pull this out of you because you already have the answer. And you're like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to take it from me and make it better. It's within it.
Exactly.
So you talked a little bit before we got started on the show about a mindset rehearsal, and I'd like to hear your tips for what that is, what our listeners could do and take away with.
Absolutely. So mental rehearsal is literally mentally rehearsing an outcome that you want. So your viewers, I'm sure, are familiar, or some of them familiar, with Olympic gold medalist Mr. Phelps. And he is a mental rehearsal, as many, many, many Olympic athletes and athletes in general, as well as musicians. So what does that mean? That means I am seeing and hearing and tasting and smelling and embodying myself walking through a scenario. And so I mentally rehearsed before we came on here. And the amazing thing about mental rehearsal is we can see ourselves being successful. So Michael Phelps, he not only rehearses so he won a gold medal even though his goggles got filled with water. And that was because he had mentally rehearsed so many times that he knew exactly what to do. Well, he didn't just rehearse a perfect race. He also rehearsed plan B and plan C. And so in plan B or C, I'm not sure which, water got in his goggles. So then what? Now who am I being? Now how am I showing up? Now how am I being at cause and moving forward and making the best of this and still getting the outcome that I want? And so I have a guided mental rehearsal, a free one for your listeners. I'm super excited to share with them. And it literally walks you through, like, it's for the morning, and it walks you through, how are you going to show up today? Who are you going to be? all, you just get to see yourself being successful all day long. And success, yes, that can mean making millions of dollars. And it can also mean for some of us, right? Like making a really mindful choice in the refrigerator. It can mean shutting off the TV and picking up a book. So you can mentally rehearse, and I highly encourage you everything. But it's more than visualization. You're embodying that. You're embodying the outcome and the person who creates the outcome.
Yeah, I love that because, I've had some experience in my life where like you visualize it and you feel it. Not just like I can imagine myself walking up this ramp and accepting an award, but like you feel it, you know what your body feels like. And I've had it the other way where this is kind of like a really random thing, but when I was a teenager, I used to skateboard, and like there were like tricks I could do if I could visualize how my body was acting in the moment, and I could like, okay, the trick's gonna be easy. But then there are tricks that like I couldn't figure out, and I remember just like always being like, well, I can't figure out why my body like it didn't feel like, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it like not in the right spot, and because of that, like I could never do it. So there's definitely some truth to this, is like, changing the way you visualize. Like, okay, I can't feel it, it feels awkward. Well, why do I feel awkward? How should my, how can I switch that feeling so it does feel right, and then it becomes, doable?
And it's also, um, yeah, exactly. Right. I am, can do, be. Exactly, exactly. And that's NLP too, like principles for success. Like here, know your outcome, take the action, check out the results. Like, what does the data say? Be willing to change. And that's the thing, like being willing to change. So the other thing about mental rehearsal is your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. And so when we imagine the scenario, we also lower stress because we imagine it and imagine it and imagine it. And then we get there and the brain's like, oh, we've already been here. And the body's like, yeah, we've already been here. We got this. It lowers stress because the mind body connection, the neurotransmitters, is real. That's a real thing, period. You can visualize something and feel it in your body, like you just said. And so when you get that going, that also helps lower your stress when you're walking into a situation that you've never been in.
That's pretty crazy. So I want to ask you, and it's interesting because we've had this whole talk about this, putting your mind like going towards, but what does it really mean to you to be all in? Like, how do you go all in? What is that? What is that to you?
It means nothing will get in the way of whatever the outcome is. And all in might be all in on the couch one day, and nothing is going to get in the way. I'm not going to feel guilty about taking the time to rest, right? Like all in. I think that not enough of us are able to go all in because we don't believe we're worth it, or we don't believe it's possible for us, or we don't believe we're capable. And if you're listening and you're thinking that, that's just not true. Like you are limitless, and there is space for you to go all in on anything that you want and everything that you want. I'm pretty much all in on my whole life. Like there is no not in for me. I don't know if you can tell.
No, no, not at all. Well, your answer is really interesting because the idea behind the All In podcast name was this idea of, I felt about a year ago, probably more than a year ago now, I was like, hey, I had this idea. Like, I'm going to go out and network and connect with as many people as I possibly could and see where that journey takes me. I thought that would be interesting. And I thought I should probably document it in some fashion, whether it's by social media. And then it got to the point where, oh, there's this point where I always have this limiting belief that that's for somebody else to do. Like in the past, like you get to a point where you go, I can't go any further than this because that's not who I am. Like I want to be big and bold and impact a lot of people. Well, you can't be big and bold and impact a lot of people sitting at home, not talking to people, not putting your message out there, not having an opinion. So if you want to do that, Like you do have to go all in. And it was kind of that belief of like, well, why is that for somebody else? Why is it okay for somebody else to go do that, but not me or not you or not somebody else? And it's like the difference is those people, I would guess, didn't ask for permission. Like I don't need permission to go be as big as and much as I want to be. And the other thing I talk a lot about is being extra. I used to say I'm enough. I used to say like, oh, I'm enough. And that was kind of like this idea of like, well, why do I say that? Like trying to encourage me to like step out. And I was like, I think it's the other way. I think it's okay to be extra. Like I think that was really a thing I had a limiting belief on. I was like, I didn't want to go past that line in the sand because I didn't want somebody to think I was too much. Like I didn't want to be like that person. Like, who are you to be the next Gary Vaynerchuk or the next, Tony Robbins? Like, who cares? Like, well, they did it. They didn't ask for permission to do it. And so that was the idea. Is like, I'm going to go all in, which meant I was going to do this no matter what. Like if it didn't feel right, it didn't feel comfortable, I was going to do it because if I wasn't, then I was drawing these limiting beliefs and preventing myself from being it. And so that really resonated with me when you said it's anybody. Like you have it in you to do whatever it is you want to be.
And if you would have been, you said, if it got uncomfortable, and yeah, when something's uncomfortable, it's good, right? A 4 or 5 uncomfortable. Like I will push clients to a 4 or 5, like right at the edge of their comfort zone. A 10 is pretty scary for some people, but a 4 or 5, like that helps us grow because then we prove to our brain we can do this. We can
Mhm.
do things that make us uncomfortable, and we can come out on the other side alive.
Yeah. I was doing that same thing too, where like if it felt uncomfortable, I wanted to make sure it was if I chose to like choosing to not do something is okay, right? Like if you say like I want to be big and bold and I want to like go back to the pod. I wanted to create this podcast, right? And it's okay to decide you don't want to do a podcast, right? It's okay to change your mind. And that was a limiting belief too. Like I didn't want to start something and feel like, oh, what if I hate it and I drop, but I said, okay, I got to do it enough times that the reason I decided to not do it was because I didn't like doing it, not because it was scary and hard. And because I made that decision, it's like anything else you start for the first time, shit goes wrong, doesn't go as planned. And I had a lot of unexpected hiccups, which had a lot to do with like recording snafus and not being able to get it to public, like just all this technical stuff. And if I hadn't made that decision, like I'm going to do this for a certain amount of episodes, regardless of the outcome, and decide at the end if I want to continue or not, I would have quit because I'd been like, you know what, this is too complicated, this is too tech. It's like it's for somebody else. And I would have made those same decisions. So I love what your message is about. I think this conversation has been so fantastic. People would benefit working with you. So let's talk about that. Who are those ideal clients, the best ones, the people that just go, it ain't work. It's fun. It's passion. It's
Yeah.
friendships. We're supporting each other and taking things to the moon.
Ambitious female entrepreneurs aspiring to 6 figures and or at the 6 figure mark are typically my clients. They know like what the habits, thoughts, beliefs that got them here are not going to next level them, right? They're moving from being everything in the business to stepping out of some of those roles. They need thoughts and beliefs and habits, identity that will serve them. They are looking to create that massive change in those things, and it's actually with small shifts. I mean, just like we talked about here, massive change, creating massive change doesn't is not equated with massive work all the time. There's inner work, there's deep inner work. What I find with my clients is they at first they think, oh well, I just need the next shiny thing. I need to start a podcast. I need the better Facebook ads. And what it really is in here. It's the thoughts, it's the self-sabotage, it's the fear, it's those things. It's that same mountain going round and round that same mountain. And once we get across that bridge and they start shifting those habits and creating those new thoughts and have this new identity that they're evolving into all the time. And things have a much more growth mindset than a fixed mindset. Like they step into their limitlessness, honestly.
Awesome stuff. So where should they go if they want to get connected to you?
I'm here on LinkedIn, Mindi Huebner, and I love Instagram. That's my little what do they call that? Like almost a dirty little secret, but that's not it. Guilty pleasure. Guilty
Guilty
pleasure.
pleasure.
For social media, I like Instagram the best, and I'm Mindi Huebner there as well. And I have a gift for all of them: mental rehearsal. It's a downloadable guided mental rehearsal meditation. It's about 10 minutes long, and it's really just an amazing way to start setting yourself up for inevitable success, because everything starts here in our thoughts. Our thoughts create our feelings and our emotions. They create our beliefs and our identity. They create our action and or inaction then, because we'll only take actions in line with our identity. We'll only create habits in line with that. And then, so ultimately our thoughts create our results. So if you're not happy with the results that you have in your life, you get to change it. And it all starts up here.
That's so awesome. So I encourage everybody to reach out to Mindi, say hello, connect with her on social media. The links are in the comments here. Actually, the links are in the show notes.
Okay.
And make sure you reach out. If you do say hi, have a conversation, make sure you let Mindi know you heard about her on the All In podcast with Nate Pales. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I think you have a ton of information. And I think there's so many people out there that would benefit from working with you. It's a shame that they can't all be female entrepreneurs, but you got to hire your mate, right?
Exactly. Thank you for having me here and sharing your audience with me. I so appreciate it. I love to bring value wherever I can, and so I know some things made a difference for people.
Definitely brought some value. Great having you.